Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So tonight, Scorpio, we have the 8 of Discs. This is all about prudence, okay? You might be thinking, what the heck is that? I don't know the actual definition, but I will tell you what this card is kind of about, right? So it's about really kind of holding on to our resources, applying them where they will really work, okay? Not just like, blowing money or, just using something haphazardly. If you look at the card, this is a tree that is in bloom. Now, that doesn't mean the fruit is there to eat yet, but it is in the process and it's getting closer and closer. So we know that we need to continue to have the right conditions and do the work so we can get these flowers to turn into the fruit that we want, okay? So that's what this card is kind of the energy it's laying down, right? So we're going to go ahead and spin this thing and we're going to see how that energy kind of applies to the actual tea leaf formations. Okay, and we're going to take a look here. We're going to see what these tea leaves want to show us. What do you have for us today? And I also want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I know I've missed a Scorpio reading or two. Things have just been wildly busy over here. And the day that I do Scorpio readings happens to usually be a day that something goes wrong, right? Or I have an appointment or whatever. So thank you for being patient. All right, so let's start up here. We have two people right up here. One looks masculine, the other probably feminine on the right side here. But we do have that kind of lover's energy, okay? So this is the unification of two sides of, right, the dualistic. The moon and the sun, or the sun and the moon coming together to create the star, and the star being the child, okay? Now, I feel like maybe for the first time in a long time, you're feeling very connected, not only to the outside world, but to yourself, okay? And I think that's the big thing here. This doesn't necessarily represent you with another human being, but often represents you with your anima or animus. Now, whatever it is that you identify as predominantly, and this is kind of an outmoded system, I will admit that. But whatever you have that is the so whatever you identify with, the opposite would be an aspect of self, okay? So for me, I grew up a woman. I consider myself a woman. And within me would be the animus, right? And the animus is my male or masculine counterpart. Very much a part of myself, equally as the feminine. But it takes work to unify and balance the two. It is something that maybe is innate in some people, but for the most part, not quite, right? And this is part of that individuation, the integration of the archetypes. And so I feel you really coming into this place of feeling quite whole, right? Doing whatever it is that you've been doing, self-work, spiritual alchemy, maybe you're partaking in your religion or spirituality more seriously, therapy, whatever. It doesn't, there's so many ways to work on ourselves, right? And so I feel you really kind of in this confidence, in this wholeness, very rounded, very worldly, somebody that people are really drawn to. I see that we have a person down here. It looks like they're running. You can see here's the head, here's the body and the legs, and we have a little house right here, you can see, and it feels like they're running towards it. Okay, now we also have another person over here, and here's the head and here's the body, and they're pointing. They're pointing at the person running towards the house. Now we have another person way back here who is also pointing. Now we have the heart. We have up here this really kind of like stink face, right? And over here, it looks like a little fountain within a garden. And so I feel like, oh, we have the horse down here too. Look at that thing. So I feel like there are people in your life, in your physical world, who are kind of almost a little bit haters, right? I wonder if you've met somebody. We also have the number 32 up there. I wonder if you've met somebody who you're attracted to. Maybe you're dating, maybe you're wanting to move in together, get married, you know, whatever it is, right? And people in your life are not very supportive. Maybe for good reason, maybe not, maybe not. We also have the number 512, okay? And the number 67, yeah. But we have guardian angels, right? We have, or maybe they're ancestors or, you know, entities that kind of look out for you. But I feel like they are, it's like they're pointing, look at this, look at this, look at this. I feel like this is, I'm not going to say it's your soulmate, but it could be, right? Like this is going to be a relationship and a cycle of your life that really teaches you about feeling like you are at home, like you have found your place in the world. You've found the person that you want to stand next to. When you are with them, you feel safe. When you are with them, you feel like you can be yourself. When you are with them, you feel like you're at home. Okay, and so I feel like part of the problem here is that at times, and this person's carrying a wand with them, so I feel like at times you can maybe go really fast with things. Like you meet somebody, you've been on like half a date with them, and you're like, this is it. This is who I'm spending my life with, right? I'm so in love. Which, listen, I get it. I fall in love a lot. Maybe not with people, but with things, with concepts and ideas and art. And I love to be in love. But I feel like at times it probably has caused you some heartache, obviously. But more so, I feel like this is why people are not supportive in your life, because they don't know if it's a good, you know, is this person a good person, first of all, but is this a serious thing, right? Are you actually going to like stay in this relationship? Which, yeah, it makes sense. You know, we all have people in our lives that have just like a continuous stream of relationships. I don't think that's you, but I feel like you do. You're sprung very quickly. But that also might be that you fall out of love or desire or have, you know, your crush or whatever. It passes quickly as well. But in this case, I feel like this is something that's very real. Okay. So I don't, you know, I guess my advice here is just to go with how you feel. When it comes to love, maybe this is because I don't have, you know, I don't have parents that I'm super close with. My parents passed away a long time ago, and I'm not very close with my family. You know, my created family, yes. But I don't have people really giving me advice, especially about love. And even if I did, I don't know that I would listen, because I don't trust people's advice about love matters, right? But I feel like for you, you know, you gotta listen to yourself sometimes, you know, and sometimes, yeah, we're gonna fail. You know, we picked the wrong person. But I don't know. I feel like this is something special. We also have the word farm. So maybe it's a farmer, which like 15 years ago, I would have been like, what the heck? Who even knows a farmer? Now I live out in the middle of farming country. So meeting a farmer is that's like not a novelty at all. But maybe where you're at, it's kind of like, well, who's ever heard of a farmer? You're right in the middle of the city. But who knows? Maybe they have an urban garden, or, you know, maybe they're on the outskirts of the city, or whatever it is. But we do have the word farm, okay? Let's see. What else? Okay, let's see here. So we have a snake, kind of a snake in the grass. We have a message that feels like it was ignored. And a lot of fallout. Somebody who played soccer. I almost wonder if this was a sister or a good friend. But I see something going, I almost feel like they were warned about something, and it feels financial. I almost feel like there was like a financial abuse or some kind of stolen money or whatever it is. I feel like your protective mode has been activated. Like you are ready to just get in there. And I said that they play soccer. It looks like a soccer goal up there. We also have the number 8. And I think this is family because we have the tree down here and we have 2 people on either side. So I feel like they're actually not close to you. Maybe live in another city or another part of the country, or maybe in a different country. But I see you kind of deciding if you're going to go visit, because it feels like this is actually something that, I don't know, it feels like a lot of turmoil. And kind of, you know, I almost feel like it's kind of alarming because you are beginning to, I think, like I said, it feels like for the first time you've been open to meeting somebody, or love or courtship or flirtation, or, you know, whatever, just feeling a connection with another person. And then you're watching this thing unfold with somebody you really love and care about. And it feels like they're the ones that are, you know, kind of in the role of the victim. Although, you know, of course, in every situation, people all play a part to some degree. Who, you know, whatever. But I feel like this is where some turmoil is coming up within you, because it does. It makes you think like, wow, if this could happen to her, you know. But I feel like, you know, you're the person who shows up for everybody. And especially when, like, your siblings, your family members, your good friends are in trouble, you're their first call. Absolutely. Now, we also have a wolf laying down here. So I do feel like there is kind of this yearning to have some time to yourself. And I think that that's going to be something that's really important, so that you have some space to consider without anybody else's energies kind of influencing you. So, you know, if you have a night to be alone, or you can take like a weekend and go kind of do your own thing, I think this is really important to just go and be by yourself with your thoughts, okay? Now we do have the letter K, and we also have a fish. So this is about money. So I almost kind of wonder if you are going to be the one that has to kind of provide some financial support maybe for this family member, or I don't know. There's going to be a money ask. I don't know who from or for what, but just prepare yourself. Okay, now we also have our lucky numbers. So let's go ahead. We're going to do 3 of them. Number 95, 95, 50, number 50, 96, 95, 96, nice. Okay, now we're going to end with our self-care affirmation cards, and I'll just flip through, stop where it feels right. And it says, spring of beauty. My world is a spring of beauty. I nourish my spirit with music, art, and creativity that inspires me. I live a life of inspiration. All right. Well, Scorpio, I want to tell you I love you. I love you so much. And I'm so honored to be able to bring these messages to you. Thank you again for being patient with me. I know it's annoying when your sign gets missed. But, you know, I'm doing my best. I'm not going to promise I won't miss again. I'll try my very best not to, though. Okay? Yeah, so anyways, what else? I don't know. I'm about to start my garden, so I'm super excited about that. And I actually have to run and get my daughter here in a minute. So I'm going to wrap it up. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Other than that, please take care of yourself. I love you. We'll talk in a few days. Good night.